going on, MSFers? Duelim here, back here with another video. And today, we've got my Cosmic Crucible Week 1 recap and my Week 2 defense. So let's get into it. Starting off, you can see I am gonna go 3-0. We'll get into the results of my last round, but yeah, 3-0 for Week 1 is awesome. So round 1, I went against Bonsai. He was the largest TCP in the bracket at about 135 million. So attack number 1, I used New Warriors Lizard against an SD with Noir and with Sasquatch. Do I recommend this? No, I do not recommend this at all. The right choice here was absolutely bringing in Echo here because the assists were really bad. Robbie went before my Cloak and before my Firestar. It got ugly quick, but I got really, really lucky. I would not try this at all. Room number 2, I did MOE with Cabal to take out a Old Man Logan, Black Knight, Panda, Gore, and Scientist Supreme room. So this went really well. I was able to spare an MOE to go here because we had the Black Knight. Room number 3, tried to do Superior 6. Unfortunately, the Green Goblin pings decided to kill Cyclops with the pings and the counterattacks and stuff like that. And then Forge got turn meter and it went nasty from there. But I went back and watched the replay, and I realized that Nightcrawler did not have special turn 1, nor ult, so I came in with Alpha Flight Cable to delete it. Worked pretty well. Room number 4, it's Darkhold, but he put Dokken and Lady Deathstrike in here. Lady Deathstrike did absolutely nothing. Dokken does change things a little bit, so instead of using 2099, you have to use either Emma or Cable in here. I opted for the Emma version, so I used Kestrel, Weaver, Emma, Nova, and Iron Man Infinity War, and it worked really well. Darkhold still does not belong on defense. Room number 5, we did a double sack, and then we did SD Eternals. It seems Fisto Spider Society does not really get any harder in Room 5, even though with the Room 5 buffs of the heroes blocking and giving defense down and stuff, it seems like it really doesn't change anything, which is really nice. And then room number 6, I used APOC, M for M, and I do have Old Man Logan for offense, and this worked really, really well. Old Man Logan absolutely carried this fight. And you'll see later on in this week of my fights, I did not need APOC here, but APOC did give me some damage and made it a little bit safer, which was nice. But yeah, so this fight went really, really well. Now for my defense, room number 1, he did a sack with hand minions and then came in with MOE Echo, so still did not take this room lightly even after a sack, which was really helpful for me, honestly. Room number 2, tried to come in with a Hive Mind with Silver Surfer instead of Venom, and it did not work against the out-of-time Scientist Supreme room, and then came in with Eternals and blew it up. Room number 3, tried to one-shot the Sus Annihilator's Vol with APOC, Weaver, Ares. I don't know why Ares and APOC were together. They're both removing the safeguard, so it's kind of a double. It's kind of a waste. BTS to take off the taunt turn 1 from Gladiator, and then Rolk to help the turn meter with APOC, but it didn't work. Then he cleaned up with Cabal, so another big team needed to come in after the first big team came in with APOC. Room number 4, double sack, super straightforward, and then did New Warriors, so New Warriors did pretty well here. Good on him for that. Room number 5, he used Superior 6 on my Extreme with Rogue. That went pretty well. And then room number 6, he ended up using Illuminati on a mirror matchup, but he did end up dropping the fight, or sacking there, dropping a fight here, and then double sacking in 4, so I got the win. Round number 2 went against Tomasino. This was a fun one. This guy's a really good player, actually. And he is in the same alliance as Community Manager Archangel, so that's cool. Room number 1, we ended up using Cabal, Lizard, and Lady Deathstrike. Lady Deathstrike really was not needed here at all. It was just Lizard and Cabal. Lizard is a Raider. Spider-Verse characters, obviously. Lady Deathstrike did assist on Super Scroll, though, and did 3.8 million damage for an assist. So that was fun to watch. If you want to watch that in real time, go watch that video. That was great. Room number 2, I did Superior 6 with Vulture against the Spider Society BK. Since I have Superior 6 and Vulture on offense now, I'm able to do this, which is great. So this defense does not scare me at all. Don't have to worry about that RNG with BTS SD. Room number 3, we did a Tangled team once again against the Darkhold Quicksilver. Don't know why people put this on defense. Room number 4, we have SD with Dokken going against a full tangled with Lady Deathstrike and Scientist Supreme. Dokken is really good in this room because everybody goes stealth when they dodge. Also, Dokken's just really good into Noir because Noir spawns with stealth, so Dokken gets a bunch of speed right off rip from that and then does a lot of damage. You'll see my Dokken is G19 now and 2 diamond, and I don't regret that at all. He's really, really good. And then SD just goes zoom with the bleeds that Dokken's also putting out, so that works really, really well. Room number 5, we ended up doing MOE Gore and Old Man Logan against this team. This was absolutely overkill, but I had leftovers because you'll see what I used in room 6. But this worked really, really well. Gore to take off the revives. MOE has a bunch of speed, so they're taking a bunch of turns quickly, giving Old Man Logan the assists. And then Old Man Logan goes, and then it's pretty much over from there. And then room number 6, we did a double sack, and then I did APOC, Rolk, Big Time Spider-Man, and Eternals on an Annihilators with Mephisto. So this room was very, very interesting. I'll actually show this replay because this one was pretty awesome. So this is very specific. APOC takes off the safeguard from Gladiator. Then you have Big Time Spider-Man using his ult to take the taunt off of Gladiator. Then you have Rolk at 133 speed going before Gore to get that rewind to make sure your Eternals can go before him. That did get resisted there, and that was the passive from Gore, but it was pretty much always going to get resisted because APOC passive, it puts 200% minus 200% focus on an enemy's first attack. So that was really nice. Now, coming in, you'll see, and then I do the Rolk special on Gore here to rewind him, and then I know my APOC and everybody else is going to go before all of them. I do punch Thanos to make sure he doesn't get his passive out, and then the Eternals just go boom. Even if APOC did not kill Thanos there, he would not do his passive because APOC ult with the punch does not trigger passive health thresholds, and it says that in his kit. So even if he didn't die there, Eternals would have gone and wiped the floor with the rest of that team. So that worked really, really, really well. So I was really happy with that fight there. Yeah, that's it for room number 6. So let's go into my defense here. So defense here, he ended up using Cabal, Kang, and Titania to take out my room 1, which is an absolute win if you're using this on Black Knight Hive. Room number 2, he ended up using the double sack and then SD Lizard. Lizard ended up dying, and it was a 56. So honestly, SD with Eternals is way better into this. Room number 3, we do have Old Man Logan with APOC and Rolk and Mercs going into this room. I honestly think Rolk was a waste here because I really think Dokken is better here because of the speed he gets when Sus goes in stealth turn 1, and then we get to take a bunch of turns there. Also, I don't think I'm playing DMC free music. Please hold. All right, and we're back. So yeah, hope that didn't get cut out of the video. If it did, sorry. But yeah, Old Man Logan does really good here. It was a little bit inefficient because it was 59, and APOC and Rolk got deleted by Super Skrull super quickly, and then Old Man Logan just carried. Room number 4, he used Superior 6 with Vulture against my Extreme. Still a 56, so not the most efficient, so I'll take it. Room number 5, New Warriors against this Scientist Supreme out of time room. Unfortunately, this room does not look like it's going to work at all, so I will be changing it, which is unfortunate because I was really excited for this room, but Scientist Supreme not doing anything here. Room number 6, once again, mirrored my Illuminati. Did better than my last opponent. He got an 83-64, but because he did the double sack there, and then was just less efficient than I was, I won by about 26 points. And now for round 3, going against Fim Raven, we have on offense in room 1, I could not clear his room 1. So you have Scientist Supreme, Noir, Old Man Logan, Panda, and Lady Deathstrike. I was able to do New Warriors Echo in here, and it did work well. Unfortunately, Old Man Logan just barely survived because I pushed the Panda, which then gave Old Man Logan death proof. So then Old Man Logan did not bleed out. So then my second time coming in, it worked well. Old Man Logan did not get death proof from Panda dropping. He died, but then guess what? Scientist freaking Supreme passive on turn, 25% chance to revive a random ally. Pulled it off and ended up bringing Old Man Logan back, which was quite unfortunate. So I had to combat cancel there. And then I tried to do MOE and just delete Old Man Logan, and it did not work. So I did not clear room number 1. So this defense was pretty good. Noir goes really quickly. Scientist Supreme goes really quickly. And then Echo was there to stop the assist. But even after no assist, they ended up getting turns, and I ended up losing. Room number 2, I used Cabal, Gore, and Zemo. Zemo actually did not get a crit for me here, so he was absolutely useless, but Gore ended up getting a crit and taking off all of the revives as well, and then Cabal wins Zumi, so that worked really well. Room number 3, I used Mercs with Old Man Logan and a pre-taunt. The pre-taunt did not do great here because Ultimus was here, so I don't recommend doing the pre-taunt here when Ultimus is here. Because of that, he just deletes him turn 1 and he gives his team a bunch of speed. And it got really hairy. Old Man Logan just absolutely carried, though, which was really, really nice. So I would recommend doing the Dormammu version here, honestly. But the problem is that pre-taunt really screwed me up. But it still worked because Old Man Logan's an absolute animal, and they kept targeting Panda over and over and over again because he kept getting the taunt. Panda kept reviving. Dawkin did really, really good damage with his bleeds and gave a bunch of speed to Old Man Logan, and yeah, it ended up working, but do not bring a pre-taunt in here. It's safer to do the APOC or the Dormammu version, so you're able to pull this off, but it still did work. Again, I got pretty lucky. Room number 4, Superior 6, going into a Extreme with Dawkin. Dawkin did absolutely nothing here. Don't bring Dawkin at all. Don't put Dawkin in here. Honestly, Superior 6 did really well. I'm also going to be running Skirmisher on Vulture to put a Skirmisher turn 1, put a vulnerable turn 1 on Forge, and then Green Goblin as a Striker to do extra damage to Forge to make sure he dies to all of that adjacent damage after those 2 turns are taken, because we have Kraven with his special doing a bunch of damage, and then Slayer doing a bunch of damage as well. I also took Slayer to G19 and 3 Diamond because he's a great character, and he's going to be used for an Illuminati counter for a while. So I really like him, so I took him up as well. And this went pretty well. Room number 5, I was genuinely curious to see if my original plan was going to work here, which was BTS New Warriors. And it almost did, but then it didn't. And then I came in with literally all the leftovers I had. I had MOE, APOC, all the stuff. It didn't matter. It really didn't matter at this point. Honestly, I thought I had lost. And then room number 6, coming in with the double sack. And then SD and Eternals did really, really well. All right, and then coming into defense on round number 3. So room 1, he tried to use an Eternals Gore BTS Nova, and it did not work at all. He did a combat cancel. Second attempt, he tried to do BTS New Warriors, and it did pretty well, but unfortunately, he targeted the wrong people. He left Black Knight alive. He let Black Knight special. He let Black Knight ult, and he had problems. And then attempt number 3, he used Eternals, Rolk, Nova, and Venom, and it ended up cleaning it up. Room number 2 did not clear the Fisto Spider Society. Tried to do New Warriors here, and it did not end up working for him. So that was pretty unfortunate for him. I can't see the replay, so I don't know how he messed up to kind of help you guys avoid that, because this can work. It's not great, but it can work. Room number 3, he used APOC, Tangled, Kestrel, and Captain Britain against my Super Scroll with Annihilators and Vol, and it worked really well in 8368, so did a great job of using just Captain Britain here. And then he used free-to-play Illuminati on room number 4. It failed the first time, but then ended up working the second time, so I don't know if targeting had an issue, if he had a reflexive taunt, or what happened. But this was a slog of a fight because they don't have a lot of damage on that side, and my team just kept tanking through a lot of stuff. So room number 5, he ended up doing SD with Doctor Strange, and this worked well, 8364, but did not have the SD for my Fisto Spider Society room. And then room number 6, tried to not mirror my Illuminati and found out the hard way that is not the good option. MOE with Ares did not work. Cabal with Zemo and Gore did not work. And then Superior 6 with Vulture also did not work. So absolutely stonewalled my opponent, and I got a win even not clearing a room. So that worked really, really, really well for me. So let's get into my defense for week number 2. All right, coming in for defense for week number 2. Room number 1, we're going to do full Spider Society, all strikers except for Peter B as a skirmisher. Peter B as a skirmisher is really great because when he does assist, which is most of the time, he's going to strip a lot of stuff off of the enemy. So him assisting with the striker is not as good. I feel like the skirmisher is better. You can make a case for making him striker so he's always assisting and always has dodge up, or is always applying dodge to his allies. But I really like the skirmisher idea. I could switch him to striker if I really don't like it and see the results from it. But Noir, turn 1, does a lot of goodness, goes super fast. Pav, turn 1, goes super fast here. So I know there are counters to this, but it doesn't take... it doesn't take an easy team to beat this. It takes a really good team to beat this, and it can cause a lot of problems. Room number 2, we are going with full out of time. I'm doing full out of time here because this is the best place for Black Knight with his team, with the blocks, and it's just an efficiency sink room. This would also take kind of like an SD with BTS, or like a New Warriors with Guardian. So that would take a pretty decent team off the board. And obviously New Warriors does not always do the best into here, especially when Black Knight has those deflects from Captain America. So that's my idea for room 2. This is going to be just an efficiency sink. It's probably not going to stop anything unless somebody underestimates it, which is my hope, but you never know. Room number 3, we're keeping the same thing. My Gladiator's now 5-5. My Thanos should be 5-5 by the time of the next video, or by the time the next week starts for CC. So the team is just getting thicker, and this team just takes a big, big team to beat. It's taking Illuminati to beat. It's taking a Cabal Kang Absorbing Man to beat. It's taking an Old Man Logan. So it's taking a lot of things to take this room out, which is a great thing for me personally. I have no issues whatsoever about it. So this is doing really well on defense, and it's probably going to stay here all season long, just like I predicted before the season even started. Room number 4, we've got Extreme with Rogue. I'm going to keep this here. I don't know if it's the best option because Nightcrawler does give dodges on turn, but then the stealth gets procced, and then Dawkins just goes zoom in this room. But it's still not bad. It still takes a good team to beat it. It doesn't take a slouch of a team. So that's really nice. So I'm going to keep this in here for right now until I either think of a better idea or the community comes up with a better idea and I steal it from my own because I love all the credit. I'm taking all the credit. No one else gets credit. It's just me. I'm not going to give credit to Juicy for coming up with all of this defense except for room 6. Not at all. Yeah, this is pretty much what Juicy's been running. But yeah, room number 5, we've got Illuminati. Full Illuminati once again. I'm going to keep Illuminati on defense for this entire season, honestly, because Old Man Logan is such a great tool to have on offense. And I feel like if you're losing Old Man Logan on defense, you have to have an equal defense counterpart or better, and this is the better option. So I'm putting it in 5 as well because they're all heroes. So they're all going to get the block. And they're also all going to put defense down on the attackers when they get attacked. So that's really, really nice. So that's going to do a lot of damage. And teams in here are just going to fall apart, honestly. And then in room number 6, we're going to do Fisto with Hive Mind. Now, this can be one-shot, right? This can be one-shot by Illuminati. But then somebody's going to have a problem if they don't mirror my room number 5. So if they mirror room 5... they now can't one-shot room 6 unless they use Cabal and something really big to take this out, right? But then they don't have Cabal for this room here. But you're saying, oh yeah, he could use Old Man Logan. Right. If he doesn't have Superior 6, Illuminati, or Old Man Logan on defense, his defense kind of sucks. And then he's going to get run over pretty quickly with the remainder of his defense. So... And I haven't seen anybody go that offense heavy. And if they do, hey, good for them. And if they pull it off, but I doubt it. So I'm going to run Hive Mind with Mephisto here. You could also do Black Order if your Black Order team is really big. Mine is not. And I noticed I did not miss Hive Mind on offense last round. So we're going to put Hive Mind Fisto in here, see how it does. And yeah, that's going to be my defense for week number 2. Sticking with the full turtle meta. I think room 1's really going to catch a lot of people off guard if they don't bring Echo or if they just play stupidly. Room 2's efficiency sink. Room 3's been great. Room 4 has been just fine. And then 5 and 6 are going to be pretty interesting as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. But until next time, this has been Duelum. Later, MSFers.